Hello everyone, welcome to Klizer's podcast. I am your host Mohan Natarajan, practice leader at Klizer. At Klizer, we help business for digital transformation. Today I'm with Bradley Clampett, Vice President of Digital Systems at Sokolin. Sokolin is a 90 years old business, America's premium fine wine merchants. So let's hear it from Brad. Hey Brad, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing wonderful. It was great chatting with you last night at Adler Planetarium on the DC Cap Roundup. Thanks for coming up and thanks for showing up in the morning for the session.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
It was a good experience last night.
absolutely. Yeah. So could you please talk more about Sokolin's business?
Sokolin, as you mentioned, we're in our 90th year anniversary. Started in 1934. After Prohibition, we were one of the first liquor licenses that were in New York. The original owner is Dave Sokolin. Now it's still family-owned business with his grandson, Dave Sokolin, is his name as well. He's the one running it. We, as you mentioned, fine and rare wines. We procure them from the United States and Europe. We have partners around that if we're looking for different wines, we brokerage them and bring them in. We cannot ship to every state, but we ship to a good amount of the states in the United States. We're hopefully going to expand that, but with it being wine and liquor, we are limited with licensing, go to different states at the moment. So hopefully that will change, in time.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear about Sokolin's first licensed wine merchants in New York. I wish you luck to expand your business into different states. No?
Yeah.
And since you manage the digital system at Sokolin, right? So, could you please talk more about what all the digital transformation you guys did in recent days?
Yeah, I've been with the company, will be 4 years in October. And we've been with Magento since 1 point something, after, let's say 1.7. And recently in 2022, we got with you guys because we needed to redo our mobile app. It had got an age to it, and the development team that we were working with was not meeting our goals or our requirements that we wanted to keep pace with technology. And same with the website. We had them doing Magento e-commerce with us, and it just was taking a lot longer to get things accomplished. So we started looking elsewhere. We contacted you because I've known you for years now, since around 2012, which is, good relationship we've had. And we were like, okay, well, we wanted to branch out and look at the Huba theme. Well, to try to make the front end have a little bit better performance than what we were getting out of what we currently had. And so we got with you guys. I remember asking you, can you guys do Flutter? Because that's what we're looking at for one code base for the mobile app. And you're like, we can do that. I'm like, that's awesome. I already know you guys can do Magento. So, we started the relationship. Yeah. And last year we launched with the new Huba theme and the new mobile app about the same time frame. And it's been a great success since then. And we know along the way, all the stuff that was accumulated in Magento, we got with you guys and kind of did a forensics through it, got rid of some of the stuff we weren't using, tried to streamline it, make it more manageable for us, and for our customers to not have as much loading on the page. Yep. So it's more or less trying to streamline. My previous boss said that what we're trying to do is build the foundation so that we can build up from there. So that's going forward. We've relaunched Magento. Okay. We've got a new mobile app, and now it's like, what can we do now? What can we do next?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a great journey. I think I still remember that we used to work with you since 2012 in a different company, and later on you moved to Sokolin, and again you trust us, and thanks for the trust. I think it's a pleasure. And since you're leading the digital team, right? So how is Sokolin's digital journey from the next years onwards?
There's a lot on our roadmap. It just comes down to how much time we have to work on it and trying to figure out what's going to be best for our customers. There's a lot of different features, a lot of things we could do, AI being one of them. We just have to figure out what's going to work best and what's going to be the most efficient way of changing things, and sometimes we have to do some case studies and get with some of our bigger clients and get their input, like, okay, we're thinking about doing this, get feedback, from them to say, good idea, not a good idea. But one of them is AI that we're looking to try to integrated with the site so that they could come to and ask, I'm looking for this kind of wine, and it will find what we have in stock, give them here's the price, and you can order it, take them to the page, and they can do checkout, as well as give them a little bit more information on the history. So if they're curious of a certain producer, we could provide information for them. So they'll be like, oh, okay, here's a background history of the producer, and kind of educate them more.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. If the customers take that well and they're wanting more information, then we can see what they're looking for and try to provide more data, train on different things to assist them, because that's our end goal. It's always going to be make sales, but we want the customer to be happy with their purchase and be educated with what they're buying.
Yeah, that's awesome. And since you touched base about AI, right?
Yeah.
I think at Klizer, we do a lot of experiment with AI. I'm glad that you guys are also working towards on direction. So I think, so in the digital transformation, I think AI is a great thing.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of work to do with AI. So you actually manage a digital team, right? So what's your day-to-day work look like? Sokolin,
Day-to-day is, some days just depends on what's going on. We may already hit the ground running. A lot of days we may have just a quick meeting to catch up and say, hey, what we're working on. If there's any pain points from the previous days, we have customers, or we have sales team that may get with the customers offline and chat and everything else. So we try to see what they got coming in to see if there's anything we do need to look at or fix, or if there's wine data that wine data to us is always trying to perfect it. So it's like if something's wrong, it's like, okay, what that is, we got to figure out that it's just producer information or what, figure that out and fix it. So our day is kind of as it comes in. But for the most part, we have a lot going on. We do our own photography for wine. So as the wine comes in, since we don't just sell what you find in like a Walmart and Target and stuff like that, we have the fine and rare. So some of the stuff that comes in could be very old, could be somewhat new. So we have to take photos of each one. Then we have to edit them for the website. So one of our teammates, she will spend probably half her day just editing photos. Just depends on how many we got.
Yeah.
And now that we're getting, it's the end of August, we're getting closer to the holiday season. So we'll have a holiday catalog coming out that's going to be digital, but we have to, get all the wines together, take all the photos, and then create the catalog, which is a lot of effort. So that's what we're getting towards. And then we'll have Black Friday sales and different specials going on that we're trying to plan for, make a list of the ones we want to have in there, and then what we need to change on the website to make that work. Yeah. So, a day-to-day is just kind of, like I said, other than issues that may come up, or customer questions, it's just, we're always trying to move forward. We will get together usually on Fridays to kind of go over kind of like a recap. And then we have a laundry list of different things that we want to do. So it's like, can we push forward a little bit here or there to do a little bit more research and figure out what our next, project is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's good to see that you guys keep updating the website with the content and photography. I think people expect, and also you guys do great work on the customer service, right? So you listen to your customer, right? That's a great thing. And so how do you guys stand apart from other wine merchants, no?
All of us, all our competitors, we all have, our feature set for the website. Yeah. They all vary. One of ours is with trying to create the new mobile app and some of the stuff we're trying to do, we set ourselves a little bit apart in the wine data, and our sales team is phenomenal at answering questions. So we're trying to integrate all that together on the website. Like we have the chat, but we're trying to make it where the sales team is a little bit more integrated entirely to assist with everything. We tried to make the website quick, make for checkout. You find what you're looking for, recommended products. With, like I said, some of the new features we want to have is being able to see what the customer is looking for and show them, along with what we may have for specials, but show them something that relates more to what they're looking for, or maybe looking for if it's something that's similar. So, that's an ever evolving thing as for how it sets us apart. There's going to be some of our competitors that can ship to different states that we can, and we ship to states that they can't. So, it kind of just what you're looking for. With some of our competitors, they may have more of the newer wines, and we may have some of the older. So the inventory also makes a big difference, good or bad, either way. We'll have some that customers are looking for, and they'll have some.
That's awesome. I think you mentioned about the mobile app, right? I think you do have multiple channels on the e-commerce side. Yeah. So you guys are working towards on that. So how was your experience on the mobile app recently? We helped you guys.
It's been great. Like I said, with our previous development team, they were just not doing what we needed to do, and it was starting to get an age to it. With us switching to Flutter and one code base and push it out to iOS and Android and everything else, it's made a difference in there. And then as we learned a lot from our previous app.
Yeah.
So we all got together and we got with you guys to do mock-ups, a lot of back and forth to try to make it as good as we can based off of past history. And we've loved it. You guys have done a great job. I think I've said this to you before. It's like, we may want something. We're like, hey, we want this feature. And you're like, okay, what about doing this? Because you guys have a lot more knowledge than we do with developing.
Yeah.
And you're like, you may have experience going, that's not going to work, but I don't want to say that. But how about we show them this? And we've looked at them like, that's great. That's awesome. Thanks for the input, and your knowledge has helped us. But we've had a lot with the mobile app that we've liked, and there's stuff we want to continue to develop and push out. But it gave us a good foundation. Like I said, my previous boss said, build the foundation. Now that we've done that, instead of having 2 code bases and having to try to update everything, one, then it gives us more streamline, and it's going to be easier to upgrade and add more features. We're not worrying about 2 different development teams working on 2 different platforms.
Absolutely. And thanks for giving freedom to our team, and also listening feedback from team. And it's good, I think since you've been in the industry for longer term, right? So you're always good at giving feedback as well, and also listening feedback. Thanks so much for that. And so can you talk more about your personal life,
But personally, I've got my wife that we are been married for over 11 years now, actually 12. My boys are 11, so we got married a little bit before that. They will turn 12 in March. Twins, they are twins, but not twins. Total opposites of each other, which is fine. They want their own personalities. I'm an only child. My wife's an only child, so having twins was kind of odd for both of us. That they have a built-in friend, someone to play with, and they rather not at times, which is like we always wanted something like that. But like hobbies-wise, I'm close with my parents. My dad likes to play golf. I play golf.
Nice.
We even played softball, men's softball together for years.
Right.
And he's gotten to an age where it's not as easy.
Okay.
I'm now finding that, in my 40s now, and trying to play different things, you feel a lot of pain. It takes a couple days to recover.
Yeah.
But personally, I've been, like you said, I've been around technology. I've been doing a lot of this stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
In my previous life, working in the tanning industry, I ran the company as the GM for the last so many years and was a developer and operations manager at the time because we kind of had to wear lots of hats. So my experience with e-commerce and technology, I've always been the go-to family member for everything technology. Yeah. And same with when it comes to the website and everything else, I've always been involved in one way or another, even if I didn't have that role. So, it's been a fun journey.
Yeah. I think as a father of 2 sons, right, it's very difficult to manage family as well as on the work. And though you were a VP of digital system, you still work on the coding side and you always upgrade your skill set, right? How do you balance your life between work and personal things?
It's a day-to-day struggle. Luckily, with Sokolin, I work from home. So I work as remote. I'm in Indiana. Mm-hmm. They're based out of New York.
Okay.
So that's a good thing. I don't have an hour-long travel like I used to. So that little time I get, I make up. So we get up, our morning is, my wife is now a teacher, so she's teaching at the same school they go to. Mm-hmm. We both get up really early. I get the boys up, get the routine going, get them to school, then I'll come home and start my day.
Yeah.
And it's worked out really well, but the balance is a little tough at times. Mm-hmm. When they were doing sports, my dad and I would help coach. Whatever their interests are, we have to kind of say, okay, I've got to stop working at 5:30 or 6 o'clock to do everything. You may, depending on their projects, be like, okay, well, when they go to bed, I'm going to go back to work for a couple hours. But since I work from home, it's been a blessing, really.
Okay.
I don't have to drive anywhere. Okay. So the work balance is the Sokolin team, my bosses, are awesome. As for, they value family. Yeah. They feel that, as employees, they want us to enjoy life and work hard, to kind of play hard, work hard. But they want us to enjoy working with them, but also don't miss out on opportunities with family. So I'm more pressure on myself than they are on me when it comes to different tasks. So management-wise, it's kind of loose. I, kind of have free will to do what I want as long as certain tasks are done, or if there's any deadlines, I meet them. Okay. They're very flexible. So I spend a lot of time doing projects or just working on stuff because I enjoy it. My dad always told me, if you find something you love to do, make it a career. And I did that. I love development. I love creativity. So I've kind of done that for the last so many years, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, awesome. No? I think at Klizer, right, so one of our culture is try a lot of new experiment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So similarly, you do a lot of things, right? So though you manage a team,
Yes.
you still work on coding and you work on the application side, server side, and you do a lot of things, right? So let's say, if somebody is starting a journey on the technical side, so do you want to give any input for them, right? Hey, how do you make sure that they upgrade their skill with the latest industry trends?
Don't always go for the fads. If there's something to come across, do a little bit more research instead of just jumping into it, because you may find that some of the languages and everything that's out there may be good on paper, or they visually look fine, but they have a lot of headaches that you learn down the road, or a lot of blocks where it's like you can do this, but you can't do it any further. For us, team-wise, my philosophy is you're always wanting to learn. The whole thing of someone saying it's impossible, I hate that. I really do, because nothing's impossible with time and money, really. You can make anything work within reason. May not be exactly what you're looking for, but you got to put in the effort. And, that's one thing that I've always valued, that if there's something you're really passionate about or feel like confident that this is going to work, spend the time to figure it out and do it right. Don't halfway do it. Spend the time to research it, make sure you're doing it like you would want someone else to do it. If you're paying for the work or you're doing the work yourself, you want it to be a good, complete project or process when you're done. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that I've strived to do. So I don't just try to do partial. I try to do it the right way the first time, not have to go back and fix it. There's always going to be upgrades, but do it right the first time.
Yeah, awesome. No? And one thing I noticed with you, right, you always involve yourself into the community, right? Let's say whatever tech you work, you involve yourself into the community. Yeah. You talk to the people and see what they are doing, right? That's something I like about you. And also I want to share this with the team, right? Yeah. You make sure that you involve yourself into the community where you are working on and help each other to grow.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I look at things, we all going to have things we know and things we don't know. Yeah. We're always going to be opinionated, but you have to value others' opinions, their experience. You can't just say, that's not going to work. This is the way I want it. Sometimes you have to evolve, so you have to be willing to take the input. You may think you know what you're doing, but you may not when it comes down to it. So I really do value the opinions and the knowledge and other people's ideas. Even if I think it's not correct, I'm always going to be flexible to go, okay, let's see what you got. Let's see your side of it, because I'm only one side. And so you got to see the whole picture to know, yeah, that makes more sense. Or can we still do it my way? And then you explain why. I hate the whole thing where it's like, nope, this is what we're doing, without explaining kind of why you're wanting to do it that way. Because that, to me, it helps the conversation and helps them go, yeah, I'm on board with that now that it makes sense. So it's just a communication, and it's tough to do because it takes a lot more effort to communicate and fully explain different things.
Awesome. Do you have any final words to talk about your experience working with Klizer?
I've said this before, all I have is nothing but great things to say. I mean, I've known you for years, but that doesn't take away from working with Klizer or even DC Cap in the past. Working with your team has been phenomenal. The team that we have that's worked with the website and the mobile app, the project manager, Bharat, he's awesome. I mean, it's like it's business, but the way he comes across is it's more of like a personal connection, and he listens to you, and we love that. You deal with some people in some companies where it's you give them information and you don't know exactly what they're taking from that, because their input or output to you is a little off. But with like Bharat and the rest of the team, they explain everything. And they're very personal, and I love that. So, and everyone that I've worked with you guys for the last couple of years has been the same way. I haven't had zero issues, and I actually enjoy, like, when I do get to speak with you or come to visit you. It's always entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for your motivation to the team, right? I think it's always good to mention their name. You also mentioned whenever we meet, right? So you mentioned, hey, I worked with this guy and he's doing great. And you also make sure that you follow those people. And even last night we discussed, you watched Bharat's session at the events. Yeah. So that's great to hear. And you're watching our team on LinkedIn, other social media.
Yeah, Aaron, for nothing, he's posted a lot of stuff about this event that you guys had. And I've been friends with Aaron, not this past January, but the previous January. He was in Florida at the Magento Meet, and I met him there. And it was kind of like a friend that I hadn't seen in a while, but that's the kind of personality he has. And it was great. It kind of first, when we started working with you, it's like I've known you, but working with others, when I seen another member of the team, the way he was very personable, it made me felt, like kind of warm and felt more comfortable going, you know what? I can work with these guys and not even think about working with someone else because you guys are that great as for making you feel welcome, and I love that. And like I said, everyone I've worked with is the same way. You guys all have great personalities and you're wanting to take care of your customer, which would be us, or the whole picture, my customers through me, which is great.
Awesome. And thank you so much for driving all the way to Indianapolis to Chicago. And it was great chatting with you. And thank you so much. And also, so we want to host a session with you in Sokolin's 100th year. We are looking forward to for the long-term relationship. Thank you once again.
Thank you for the time and thanks for inviting me.
Sure. Thank you.
Klizer.